build, so there will be a lot of bugs and a lot of things that we have to look out for. I've been playing it pretty frequently over the last couple of days. The last stream we had, we made it to cycle 21 and our base kind of fell apart. So today we're going to try to get a little bit better, a little further into the game. I'm going to turn down the audio just a little bit, just because it's playing too loud in my ear. Anyway, so the game is a colony building, colony management type game, like RimWorld or similar games, and also it has a little bit of a Terraria feel, where it's like a side scroller rather than a top down, like RimWorld. I'd like to think of it as like an ant farm view of the colony that you're building. They're by the same development company that created Don't Starve, so it's really good. The game is still in pre-release, pre-alpha build, development build, like it says here in the top corner. So without further ado, we're not going to resume our previous game. We're going to start over, just because this dangerous cosmos is falling apart. So we're just going to hit new game and let it generate our world for us. So the game has received a few updates since last time I played. I think it was just minor bug fixes and so on. So when you start the game, you are presented with this selection screen where you get to select your starting colonists, and you can shuffle them to get new stats for them. So you start with 3, and they each have their own attributes, their own traits, and some additional details at the bottom here. So we'll go through the attributes. Athletics is how fast they move. Construction is how fast they build. Cooking is how fast. Everything it has to do with speed, I think. So how fast they decorate, they cook, they dig, they learn, how much they can carry, how resistant they are to disease, and how good they are with tinkering. I think tinkering is not very well established right now, but it has to do with like operating machinery, like the electricity generator, like the hamster wheel that they run around. The traits, they usually have one good trait and one bad trait at the beginning, but eventually they'll start having more and more. Right now, Will has mole hands, so he's a good digger, as you can see, and he's flatulent, so he produces a lot of gas. And one of the namesake of the game is oxygen not included, which kind of gives you the idea that you will need to manage your oxygen level and your gas, and flatulence is not a good gas to have in your environment, so that's something to look out for. Nadia is an artist. She's very creative. She has an iron gut, so she can eat anything without getting sick, and all the vitamin C can't stop her from getting sick, so I guess she gets sick from airborne diseases, but not from things that she eats. Stinky the architect, everything is good with him except he can't do research, which is okay. Like, research early game is not that great, but these are all good things good overall. The only one I don't like is Nadia, just because she doesn't have very good in terms creativity is not very good at the beginning. Tinkering, even tinkering is not good, so I think I'll re-roll her. Oh, good. Archibald the miner. So we have 2 miners, which is awesome. However, we have 2 people that can't do any research. That's fine. I think that's fine. Digging will be really important at the beginning as well. So we have 2 diggers, 1 immune, and 2 non-researchers. 2 vomiters, 1 destructive. Destructive means when his stress level goes super high, he'll start destroying our base. Vomiter means they're just gonna vomit all over the place. So we can rename them as well. So I'll rename them based on our followers. So I'll get the first one. Second one will be Hayo, our first followers, and Sudaran. Alright, and our colony will be the Great Burrow colony, and we'll embark. And from there we'll find out how the game plays. Alert! Your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. It might be best to start digging. So, as you can see, This is our starting area. They have limited vision, but there's a lot more in the unknown. So we start out with a printing pod where we create more duplicates. So we're basically printing more colony members. We have a ration box that has our starting food. We have in top corner here, it shows us the day cycle. I paused the game by pressing space, but here's the speed controls. This is the cycle, so every day that passes is one cycle, and they do go to sleep at night, and at the end of the cycle you get a report telling you how everything is going. So currently your duplicates have nowhere to relieve themselves. I have 3 duplicates at 5% stress. They all start with 5% stress, I think, and 20,000 kcals of calories, which is in 20 field rations, which is in this box here. In this corner is jobs, very RimWorld-like. You can kind of tell people what to do, what not to do. Like you can see here, MrHossie is the only one that can research, and these 2 guys can't. So right now we'll just leave everybody doing everything, which is okay. Good thing about the game too is that you can basically click on anything and get details about what that thing is in the game. What's next? The vitals just tells you everything about everybody, how much they've eaten, what can they eat till, fullness and stress levels. The reports, this is where you'll find out how much oxygen you generated, how much power you generated, how much calorie you generated, and basically how much you used up, how much you created, and so on. Very good. Research is not available until later on in the game. I'll talk about overlays in a second. Down here is our build tab where you can build the different things. We won't be able to build anything until we start digging to get resources to build with, but this is where you'll build certain items like sleeping cots, research stations, power generation, and then most importantly oxygen generation. Next is all the commands here to get your duplicates to do, like dig, harvest, prioritize, which is really good. I found this tool prioritize really good, better than RimWorld. RimWorld, it's really tough to prioritize things, but this helps. Sweep and mop, which helps you clean up things, deconstruct and cancel. And yes, the next thing is the overlays, the most important thing here that makes you keep track of everything in your colony. So the first overlay is oxygen, the game's namesake, oxygen not included, and it shows you the breathable air, obviously in blue, very breathable and breathable, and then the unbreathable air, which is the red. Then there's this is slightly breathable, barely breathable. There's also toxic air, which I don't think there is any around. Very toxic, slightly toxic. So our last base was actually full of very toxic stuff because I didn't have anything to process the air to make it less toxic. So they were farting and they were basically killing themselves as they were sitting there. Next is power grid, temperature, light, liquid plumbing, gas plumbing, decor, and priority of items. So right now the ration box is set as priority 5, so they put their rations in there at about halfway priority. 5 is halfway, almost. Alright, so as they said, we need toilets and we should start digging. So at the beginning our oxygen generation is all generated by this oxalite here. It produces oxygen, but it also gets consumed at the same time. So it's kind of a good starting block for us to have. There's a bit more up here, so this will be a good area to expand to. There's some in here, which is good. Copper, we have copper. Algae will be very important later on, because that'll be kind of our mid-game oxygen producing materials. There's more copper down here, and then coal. Coal is good later on to generate power. And then there's more algae. So it looks like our method of kind of expansion would be to up here, and then into the copper, and then into the algae, because we will need access to this water down here, because we need water for certain things. So for now, we're going to expand to the right side. There's a good amount of copper too on the left here, on the right here, sorry. So we'll go left, and then we'll go right, and then we'll go up and then down. So I think we have a plan here. So we'll start digging. I like making my bases 4 high. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to reach that high though, that's the problem. And we won't want to dig out this oxalite, because we will need it later on, because that's our only source of oxygen generation. So let's get started. And as soon as they start collecting, you'll see down here we'll be able to build things. One of the first things we want to build is a storage area, so that things aren't just sitting on the ground. And then once you build it, you have to assign what goes in there. So we know all this. Controls WASD to move, digging, and navigation in case they can't reach anything. So right here the element filter allows you to filter kind of what goes into this storage compactor. So right now we're just storing raw materials, which is fine because we don't have anything else. Oh, right here we have granite really close by, and a whole bunch of more algae, which we'll need to store because we also will use algae to make food. Oh, he farted, you can tell. So as you can tell, as they work and fart, see, look at this gas, contaminated oxygen because of the farts. These guys. So we'll also need an area to create bathrooms. So we might put our bathroom on this end here. So kind of a lot of unbreathable air over here, but we can build stuff to reprocess it. So I don't think they can reach any of this. Ugh, they farted more. Oh, he stood on that to build up. We'll dig it up. We'll dig all that up. Cool. Actually, maybe we'll build a bathroom on this end. How's the oxygen situation here? Nah, we're fine. And also we need to eventually build rooms for them. The best plan is to have them building rooms separately, because they do get disturbed if you don't. So we can build a set of stairs going up there into this area here, and we're gonna put our bathroom over here. Can I build a bathroom right now? Let's build an outhouse here. And eventually what we'll do is we'll build tile right above here, and then they'll be able to dig. Keep farting on each other. It's hilarious. I guess one of them is flatulent, so that's alright. I don't know which one it is. Who's the flatulent one out of these guys? So we'll want to also leave a layer. This is going to be the main layer. The floor of the next. And we'll build out this way for now. And this will all be tile. So eventually this will be our second floor, and then we'll build down into the copper as well later on. Colony requires a food source. So food can only be generated with this microbe musher. Produces low quality food, and we need metal for that. So we're gonna have to get this copper over here. But that's fine. For now we can so there's briar seeds, Bristol briar. We can harvest all this stuff, right? Yeah, we can. Harvesting is good. So carbon dioxide does sink, so all the carbon dioxide will kind of settle down here unless we build something to pocket it for it to sink in. So we're gonna do that. We don't want to expand too much as well at the beginning, just because expanding too fast is not a good thing. So we've almost made it to our first night. We'll need to build some beds. Let's put one bed here. One bed here. I think I'll give each of them a floor to themselves. I'm gonna build a bed in the outhouse. That will be a good idea. Maybe I'll go up one more. Jeez, stop farting. So this will be our level, and then we'll go that way. Mealwood harvest remaining. That's awesome. We found a lot of good stuff. How's the air here? Yeah, that's breathable too. Not bad. They're doing a pretty good job. Somebody keeps farting. It's not good. It's not really very good for us. That's oxalite, so we need that to produce our oxygen for us. But we'll build tiles so they're able to walk that way. And as soon as he builds, they finish this here, we'll build one more cot up here. And that'll be the next person room. So we'll have all the rooms on the left side. And everything else on the right side here. So, because they do, some of them snore as well, and they disturb everybody around them. Missing foundation, that's fine. So we're almost through the cycle, which is pretty cool. We'll get them first night, and at least they have somewhere to sleep. When they sleep on the floor, they actually hurt their back, which is not cool. Alright, so we're almost able to build a micro musher. We just need to get more copper ore, so there's a whole bunch of copper here. So we're going to ask them to dig it out. So we can... So right here you can prioritize things to be a little lower. We don't really need that right now. So I lowered its priority so he should stop. Nope. We don't want to dig that. We want the oxalite to start producing, to keep producing oxygen. Okay, how's our food? So now we can build the microbe musher, but this will actually require some oxygen to use. Some power to use. So we'll need to generate power. And we'll generate power down here. So once they go to bed, we'll tell them to go generate some power. So the report is now ready, and now we can take a look at what we're using. So we're using 136 kilograms of oxygen. We've not generated any power, and we've used 2,300 calories, which is good because you have 30,000 calories. So we're not really that hell-bent on making some food. We can just chill out on the food for a bit and start worrying about other things. Specifically is power generation, and I think that's it at this point. We need to generate some power. Research can wait until we get another duplicate in about 2 more cycles. So power will be important, as well as siphoning up some oxygen and producing oxygen. So we'll have power generation be down here, or even on the second floor here. Or maybe we'll keep power generation to the main floor. So we'll put a manual generator here, attach a battery to it, and then we need to ask somebody to dig that. And build some tiles over here, just so it looks nice. Cancel this. I have a really hard time building tiles or anything that drags, because of how it is kind of loosey-goosey. My sensitivity is pretty high, so I need to lower that eventually. Alright, so it looks like we have a pretty good base going. Our oxygen situation is pretty good. We have some more oxalite here if we need to use it. So our first issue will be generating oxygen probably down here. Insufficient oxygen generation and insufficient food. We still have a lot of food, so it's fine. So let's plug in some power to start generating power. So that will connect the hamster wheel here to the battery. And then what we'll put is a oxygen generator right here, the algae, but we need copper. So we need them to start digging up here. So let's prioritize the digging, guys. He's pooping. How's the bathroom? 14 visits remaining. He left the toilet seat up. Come on, man. And then we need to go this way to pick up this copper ore here, and this algae down here. And this water is also going to be a good, will be good for us. So we can start building the stairs down. And we have enough copper to build our first oxygen generator, which we'll put here so it's next to the outhouse and kind of can siphon upwards. And we'll attach some electrical wire to it, that way, so it keeps going. So it still needs to be connected to the power source. So that's fine. So they've produced this oxygen, that's good. So I'll need them to dig out. Next is 3 high all the way across here. And then build tile. See, I can't drag this. All the way across here so they're able to walk. And we're looking good so far. All the CO2 is on this end. We're gonna have access to water soon. I think we're looking good so far. Cycle 2, we already got our electricity going. We already got oxygen going. I think we're gonna be safe to start speeding up now, to get things moving. So this needs to be connected until we got it going. We have everybody on different floors. Cycle 2's almost halfway done, so we should be getting a new duplicate next, and then we can start some research. I think I'll start with possibly. We'll take a look at research after, and we'll decide what next we can start doing. We can start researching. So this will give us access to water, because we will need water when we're producing food, because the microbe musher will require some water as well as dirt. We have lots of dirt, but we have no access to water, and these stairs will give us access to water. It's a shame we can't zoom out a little bit further. Skill increase. Sudar and digging is now at 2. Nice. Good for him. So we can now build our microbe musher. So we can put that next to our ration box. Which is pretty good. They still can't reach this? I don't get why they can't reach this. Oh well. We'll have to build stairs to it. We'll need to get to this copper because we're running low on copper. We can't build anything. We can build a couple of electric wires. There we go. So we got oxygen generation, we got power generation, and we got food generation. So everything is looking good. We make some mush bars. Yummy mush bars. An edible, putrefied mudslop. Preferable to starvation, but only just barely. So it requires some dirt and bottled water. Gives 1000 kilocalories, but may cause diarrhea. Gotta check on this outhouse. There's 12 visits remaining in the outhouse. Let's slow time down just a little bit. And take a look at our oxygen overlay. As you can see, all this contaminated oxygen floating around, all their farts and poops. Carbon dioxide is starting to seep in here. We have a nice pocket of breathable air in here. Tip: fetching water. Duplicants will seek out and collect water and other liquids up to 2 tiles away and deliver it to buildings. That's good because they'll come down here, suck this water up, and plop it into here, and create mush bars. Nice. Alright, next we need to worry about getting the copper so we can build more things. So I feel like the best place to go would be into this area here, but it's full of carbon dioxide. I don't think that's the best area to go. Maybe going into this area here. There's a lot of copper through here. So we'll have to dig all this out. What's this? Unreachable. Well, I know it's unreachable. We have to dig through that first, geniuses. It's just eating. Oh, we need to build them mess table. It requires interior decor. Okay. We're not at that research level yet. So they're beginning to dig into here, and we'll be able to get the copper soon. Our power. Hayo is running on the little treadmill, generating power like a hamster. Sudaran is cooking for us, and MrHossie is digging up a storm. Alright, so we're getting copper. Nice, he got that little one here. We have a good supply of copper. Our oxygen is starting to get really bad over here. But we need to dig all this out so we can build more stuff. I don't think our power is running out, is it? No, there's no way. There's no way our power is running out. But insufficient oxygen generation. We might need one more oxygen generating thing. Actually, yeah, let's build one more. Let's put it... So one is here. If we put the other one here, that'd be a good spread. And then we can build another set of stairs going down this way. And that will kind of permeate the oxygen downwards.